You know, when I went to the military, the one thing that the drill sergeants told us in basic training was that whatever was at home, you had to let that go. And especially if your feelings were romantic, that your girlfriend or boyfriend, or sometimes even your wife, husband, was at home, the only thing you need to know was Jody got your girl. Now that seems silly. He's like, man, that's my girl. Like, I've done what I need to do. It's my girl. And I had a girlfriend when I left and went to basic training. What I didn't anticipate is how long I would be gone, that I would be in basic training in an AIT, and then I would be deployed in Desert Storm for a short while. What I found is after I got home after a long year, the name wasn't Jody, but Robert did get my girl. It's hard to deal with betrayal. Hello, Governor. This is Rakai Steed, Newt from the Ville. And we are covering Doctor Who, Season 6, Episode 8. Let's Kill Hitler. Yeah, the title is misleading because Hitler's in the episode, but that's not really what the episode is about. In modern day Leadworth, Amy and Rory are creating crop circles. And that's just to get the doctor's attention via the newspaper coverage. Now, if you remember, episode 7, A Good Man Goes to War, was the doctor has not seen Amy and Rory in some while because he is steadily looking for their daughter. He is looking for Melody Pond. And even we get a glimpse in a in-between kind of mini-sode where Amy calls the doctor's on the TARDIS, she calls the doctor, and he doesn't pick up. He's right there. He hears the phone, he hears her message on the answering machine, but he doesn't pick up. He listens. And she's basically saying, call me, let me know what's your progress, have you found Melody yet? Back in Leadworth, the doctor shows up with the TARDIS, and Amy and Rory, childhood friend, Mel's, she shows up out of nowhere. She's driving a car, nice car, stolen, and the police hot on her tail. Everybody said, hey, let's get in the TARDIS, let's get out of here. And they said, where are we gonna go? What are we gonna do? And Mel says, hey, you got a time machine? I got a gun. Let's kill Hitler. Girl, how is that the first thing that popped into your head? I mean, we're gonna forget that, Mel's is a young black woman. She's kind of nice looking, but she's got the Roscoe, she's packing heat, and she's talking about let's kill Hitler. Ooh, she may be a little dangerous. Now, when they get inside the TARDIS, Mel's is apparently being Mel's. What we see from the flashbacks that Mel's has always been a wild child. She's a rebel, and she doesn't do anything conventionally, and she's an issue. She's a problem. And while she's in the TARDIS, she shoots the gun, and it damages the TARDIS and sends it out of control. Now, back in 1938 Berlin, there's a machine called the test selector, which is a shape-changing, human-looking robot that has miniature people on the inside operating it. Yeah, I never thought that I would say that sentence either. They are miniature police, and their job is to deliver justice to criminals in the past. And of course, Hitler's on the list. However, the TARDIS crashes into Hitler's office, and the tesseract is torturing Hitler, and it's about to do its justice, but the TARDIS crashes into the tesseract. Hitler shoots at the tesseract, and he hits Mels instead. Now, Rory cold cocks. He steals on Hitler, knocks him out, and ties him up, puts him in the closet. But what we find out in this moment is that Mels starts to regenerate. The hell? And when she gets finished regenerating, she becomes the woman that we know as River Song. What the hell? The thing is, River Song, or as we found out, that Melody Pond was taken by the Silence and trained as an assassin to kill the Doctor. So guess what she does? Kills the Doctor. And even though they have this fun, super flirtatious thing going, which seems like it would be hard to flirt with someone who's actively trying to kill you. Even though the Doctor thwarts her at every change, she kisses him with a poisonous lipstick, and it starts to kill the Doctor. He starts to die. The Doctor orders Amy and Rory to follow Melody, and he crawls and gets back to the TARDIS. Now, because he's dying, he searches the TARDIS database for someone who can talk to him in this moment. And he has this thing where he goes through some guilt because many of his other partners, Rose, Martha, Donna, he completely turned their lives upside down, and he not betrayed them, but he feels that he didn't do right by them. Now, the tesseract is aware that the Doctor's death is a fixed point in time, and it's not in 1938 Berlin. It's in 2011, and River Song is the most wanted person in the galaxy because she is the one who is guilty of killing the Doctor in 2011. Which we learned that from the first episode, which was The Impossible Astronaut. And we didn't learn that River was the astronaut until kind of, if you're following the clues the last few episodes. The Doctor stops the tesseract from punishing River. And the captain of the tesseract, Carter, he's even like blown away. He's like, wait, she's responsible for killing you. She's killing you right now, and you don't want her punished? And he's like, no. Carter tells the Doctor that the Silence is a religious order, and they believe that silence will fall when the oldest question in the universe is asked. So the Doctor asks him, what's the question? Amy forces the crew to abandon the tesseract. Amy, Rory, and River find the Doctor near death. The Doctor whispers something to River. He gives her a message. Now, at this point, River only thinks of herself as Melody Pond. She's not River yet. And she's like, why do you keep calling me River? Who is this River person? And because it's in the database, they ask the tesseract to change him to show them who is River Song. And Melody sees herself. And she's blown away. She's like, wait, y'all keep talking about River and what? Amy uses the tesseract to show Melody who she will become in River's song. And River, Melody, uses the last of her regeneration power to save the Doctor. But she used so much of her power that she almost has kind of an amnesia right now. She passes out. And when she wakes up, the Doctor, Amy, and Rory have taken her to a special hospital. It's in the far future, and the Doctor is actually the one who gives her the little blue diary that she's been reading from all this time and says, spoilers. But in that, she's given a new name and she's given a chance to heal and get away from what the Silents were trying to do to her, or what they had done to her whole life. One of the big reveals is that we found out that Mel's was Melody, who is River. And seeing that Melody, River, is Amy and Rory's child, their daughter, Mel's had been Amy and Rory's friends like their whole life. So Melody found her parents. And even though Amy and Rory were concerned about growing up without her, they didn't. They didn't know that they were best friends with their daughter. You know I love my quotes. This quote, I'm not exactly sure who it came from, but I love this quote. Trust is earned, respect is given, and loyalty is demonstrated. Betrayal of any one of those is to lose all three. Betrayal annihilates trust. Was I hurt when my girlfriend betrayed our relationship when I had graduated high school and came back from the Army? Yeah. Was hurt. I don't blame her though. I was gone for a very long time. And in a way, I kind of betrayed her first because I had to put her out of my mind to survive the situation I was in. Because the one time you're thinking about home and you're not in the present, it will absolutely get you killed. I ain't got time for that. Betrayal is not a foreign concept to me. I've been betrayed quite a bit. And sometimes it's hard because people mistake or they use your kindness against you and they take it as a weakness. And at times it has been a weakness. But also it's also made me stronger. I'm gonna keep this super short and super sweet. Here's a few different ways for you to deal with betrayal. One, you have to acknowledge it. Accept what happened and then clarify your feelings about it. Just know that it's okay to feel anger, disappointment, and even shame. But the only way that you can move past is to deal with it. Number two, you know that I'm an advocate for mental health, and it took me a long time to get mental health to deal with not only what was happening in my current, but a lot of things that I had not dealt with from my past. Talk to someone. It should be a therapist or a licensed professional, but if you, for whatever reason, that's not what you do, talk to someone that you trust. And someone that, not that has skin in the game, but you can't talk to somebody about marriage or your failed marriage that's never been married. I don't know what the hell they're talking about. You can't talk to someone about certain things that they have absolutely zero relatability to. And it's hard. When my marriage was dissolving, I went into marriage counseling and therapy. And my pastor is a wonderful pastor. And he did our marriage counseling. At the time, he had never been married. But he was very open and honest with us, said, I cannot counsel you based on marriage. I haven't done it. He said, but I can counsel you based on what the Bible says about it. I can counsel you on, this is where you right or wrong as a man. This is where you right or wrong as a woman. We got to plenty of where I was wrong. Somehow when it was time to get to where she was wrong, yeah, the counseling session stopped. She just stopped, Go figure. I did check in with some other married couples to see, try to get a basis on where it was right and what was wrong. And that was good for me to be able to move past that. You have to give yourself space. And not only in giving yourself space, you have to give yourself grace. You have to take a break from that person who's betrayed you. And that will help you process not only your emotions, but gain some clarity. It's hard to work past that if that person's in your face every day, or you're in that person's face every day. And sometimes it's hard to not be because you don't want to lose them, but you have to. You have to practice some self-compassion. It's easy to have compassion for others, but sometimes you will not show yourself that compassion, and you absolutely have to. You know that you've been brave, and at this point, you're learning about yourself. You have to forgive. Forgiveness will help you lose that anger and that bitterness, not only towards the other person, but towards yourself. Reflect. Consider how the relationship was before the betrayal, and then honestly figure out if you played a role in it. No one wants to think of themselves as the villain in their story, but you may have very well played a part in your own downfall. Grieve. It's okay to grieve. It's okay to be upset and sad. And sometimes men cry. I mean, I may not cry. I may, sometimes my eyes sweat, the pollen count be high. I'll be like, who was in here cutting these onions? I don't remember even having onions. The person that betrayed you, you need to confront them. I used to say, if you got some beef, let's get it out, let's grill it up. Depending on what that situation is, you have to watch how you communicate, because your feelings are most definitely involved. You're going to be emotional, and you may have certain expectations for the person who betrayed you. So I'm not saying that you have to forgive them and just move on like it never happened. It happened. And you have to see what your communication is like with that person to figure out where do you go from here. You have to practice some gratitude. Having gratitude can help you move out of a negative state of mind. I know that people around me that were aware of my situation would tell me, you cannot focus on that. You have to focus on you. And I hated that because it sounded like bullshit. It sounded like some cliche bullshit you got out of a book off the internet. And they were absolutely right. You can only control what you can control. And the only thing I could control at that time was me. And the sad thing, the hard thing, which is also sad, was that there were times where I thought I was better until I found out I wasn't. That's hard. Because you find that you thought you were doing the right thing. But you weren't over it. You weren't there yet. You weren't even remotely healed. And the last thing is you have to build a better relationship. And part of you being able to build a better relationship with other people is the relationship you have with yourself. What purpose does this other person serve to you? Are they with you just because you don't want to be alone? Are you codependent? Are they with you because you feel you need to control someone? Are they with you, or are you with them because you feel like they complete you? They fill the void in your heart and they make you whole? Because all of those things are bullshit. You have to work on your communication skills. And communication is not just talking. Communication is listening. And I'm not saying you got to take a course on relationships and how to be in a relationship, but you have to work in order for you to be a better person for someone. And that is whoever it is that deserves you. Because you have to be okay with you. It's hard to go into a relationship and say you're going to give your 100%, your all to a relationship when you are only about 40% healed. You can't give your all if you didn't bring your all with you. Yes, I am guilty of that. I am. And I know it. We do the best that we can, and we continue to live and we continue to learn. You deserve better. But also the people that you're with not only deserve better, but they deserve a better you. And can nobody do anything to change anything about that but you? If you have been betrayed, I'm not talking about that person that betrayed you. But the next person that you're with, they deserve a better you. So you got to do what it takes to become a better you. This is Rakai Steed, new from the Ville. Make sure that you like this. Comment. Do you agree with what I'm saying? I mean, you ain't got to comment all your business about how someone betrayed you, but does anything I'm saying resonate with you? Make sure that you share this. And by all means, if you have not subscribed, subscribe. Check out my other videos. Watch them all the way through. I may drop a few gems in there. Even if you don't know what show I'm talking about, there's some goodness in some of the stuff I'm saying. I'm just a local idiot with a platform. I'm gonna say my 2 cents. Whatever. Remember, you gotta use this. But just as much as that, you gotta use this.